Hi, this is Matt Bright. I'm with Frank H. Furman Insurance. We've been a staple of the South Florida community now for 53 years. We're now the 8th largest agency in South Florida. I run our hospitality practice group. Specifically, I work with restaurants, hotels, resorts, and service providers to that industry, helping them do three things: better protect your balance sheet, control your cost, and create ease of doing business that allows you to focus on putting heads in beds and butts in seats in your restaurants. 18 years in the insurance industry, many of which have been focused on hospitality, have taught me that your ability to control the incidents that happen on your property, to, one, keep them from happening, and then when things do happen, to minimize the cost of those incidents, goes a long way to ensuring that you have better rates now and in the future. Take a look at the following clip, see if it adds value to your organization, and I'd love to be a resource for you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is my 30th year in insurance claims. I started in high school when I was 17, and I have seen everything. I used to run the litigation department of the New York City Commercial Claims Office at Hartford Insurance, so I really understand all different types of claims, and I used to specialize in lodging and restaurant. And Matt asked me to tell you about claims that I see most frequently in your industry. And I would say top of my list is slip and fall. And slip and fall can really be anything from air conditioning leaks, rainwater coming in from people's feet, restroom incidents, greasy floors from cooking residue, spills, and things of that nature. That is one of the things I would say is the most frequent. And then we have trip and fall, which is a little bit different. That could be over a crack in the pavement, the condition of the flooring, uplifted rug corners and things of that nature, and tears in carpeting and things of that nature as well. There's also foodborne illness that could come from cooking with unclean hands, not rotating the food, not preparing the food correctly, and things of that nature as well. But then you have cracked teeth claims, and a lot of times with these alleged cracked teeth, they're saying that they bit down on a substance that was in their food, such as glass or plastic, a rock, something that is an infiltrant into their meal. Everything that I'm telling you about, the best thing that you can do if you are ever presented with these types of claims is to take as many photographs as possible, because you have to preserve the evidence today for what can be used against you tomorrow. Here in Florida, we have 4-year statute of limitations on property damage and bodily injury, which means if anything happened today, 4 years from now, they still have the right to file suit against you. You may not even know that an incident occurred, but if you do and you preserve the evidence today, you'll have that 4 years from now when your witnesses are gone and the scene has changed and things have been discarded and your employees no longer work for you. So if you can gather statements and photographs and invoices and the object that we're talking about, the thing that was in the food, the furniture that may have broken underneath them, such as a chair that collapsed or a table that tipped over because of a broken leg. That is so vitally important to what can happen in the future should a lawsuit be filed or just a simple claim be made. We also have food-related burns, liquor liability, negligent security cases, things of that nature as well. Property damage can occur when something is spilled onto somebody's clothing or pocketbook. And it's all things that you just need to be made aware of, that almost anything can be a claim. And if any type of an injury, even if it's just a simple cut or any type of property damage like a small spill occurs, just go into your claims mode and start taking those photos, getting witness information, contact information, even getting a statement from anyone who's willing to give a statement that gives the details of what they observed and their contact information as well, and have them sign it. Now, all of you here today, I'm telling you this, but the most important thing is to train the trainer. When you leave here today, it's really important to make sure that the people that work for you understand what we're talking about and trying to prevent and mitigate damages, because all of you will know what to do, but your staff may not. And I've seen in many circumstances when one of my clients has been served with a lawsuit or an important letter comes in, a letter of representation from an attorney, they simply file that lawsuit or that letter away. They don't even know what it is. And then now you can go into default mode on answering that lawsuit or have a second letter of representation that is much angrier arrive at your doorstep. So it's really important to let everyone that works for you know what we're talking about today. Matt also touched upon some claims that went wrong, and he asked me to do the same. So I have a couple of examples. There was a woman in one of my former clients that was a restaurant who was elderly and walking with a walker, and she was shuffling her feet. She was certainly in distress because she just wasn't able to ambulate on her own. And people in the restaurant observed that she was having difficulty getting across the carpeting such as this. One of the people that worked for my client saw that where the tennis balls were on her walker, they had worn clean right down to the metal. And it's the metal that got caught on the rug and actually tore the rug as she was walking. But she fell over her own feet and over the walker and ended up fracturing her hip. That piece of rug was thrown out. It was a throw rug, and unfortunately they discarded it. There was no way to tell that it was brand new, in pristine condition, and that the only reason that this woman fell was because of her own doing and her walker not being in proper condition. But because of the fact that she had a fractured hip, no witnesses, years into the future when a lawsuit was filed, the rug is gone, the walker's gone, there's no witnesses, no photos, nothing. That ended up being a $200,000 settlement that hit my client's record. So if you can preserve that evidence, just like I was saying, get the witness statements, take photos of the walker, take photos of the rug, keep the rug, anything like that where you can just put the evidence aside and preserve the evidence will help you in the end to defend that case appropriately. Another thing that Matt said would be very important for all of you to know is that there's a really big difference in the insurance carriers as well. Some insurance companies look at the big picture to say, well, this case may have no merit, but if we settle it now for a nominal amount, even without any liability, we can avoid future litigation and future expenses that could become out of control. And that may make a client very angry because we all know we're very passionate about what we do and our safety of our clients and our people. But the insurance carrier might say, but listen, client, if we get a release now for $2,500, even that there's no liability whatsoever, we're avoiding $50,000 in defense costs, $100,000 in potential settlement someday in front of a jury that really doesn't understand anything. And we're saving you potentially $150,000. There are carriers that will do that. There are insurance carriers that will deny the claim immediately, and they will defend that claim until the end. If they spend $200,000 on defense costs, that's what they do. And there's really a great difference. There's an opposite end of the spectrum, depending on what the philosophy of the claims department is at the various insurance carriers. And being in the role that I'm in now in an agency, I see how all insurance carriers handle their claims, and there really is a vast difference. The thing is, to have somebody like me as a claim advocate to tell you why it is so important to either vigorously defend the case or to pay the claim now, I can explain that to you in layman's terms. And a lot of times you'll see adjusters who are really just too busy, actually, to spend the time to go from plain speak to English to try to translate this to you, why it is so important to do what they're doing. And that's my role. That's where I come in. But I will also challenge an adjuster if I think they're not making the right call in those particular circumstances. And basically that's what I do. I firm in insurance. That's my role. I understand your value system. I understand what the carriers are trying to do. I'll weigh the options with you. I'll weigh the options with the carrier. I'll speak with defense counsel intelligently and legalese. And I really try to come to the best solution for the client to see what financially makes the most sense and what legally makes the most sense. Bringing a case all the way to trial is a very scary thing to do, because if you establish poor case law by having your case go to trial and the verdict is not in the client's favor, you can now set the stage for future cases to follow that case law. And most insurance companies don't want to take that chance. So there's a lot of different things that all come into play with what you can do today, what the insurance adjusters can do today to save you for the future.